Shalom, beloved. Welcome to Spark 22, Discovering the Light of Hebrew. I'm Gabriella Powers, and I'm so glad that you could join us for this week's episode. Shalom, beloved. This week's Hebrew word study is Basar, which is Hebrew for flesh. Now, before we get into the study, I just want to give a small disclaimer. We are at the park here in Phoenix, Arizona, so every time you hear a loud noise, remember to bless this city, because as Andy Mineo says, God belongs in my city. Okay, so my question about Basar was, what happened to the flesh or the Basar of man after the fall? And how can we compare that to the Basar or the flesh of Yeshua? Make sure that you take a moment before this word study gets started to go to our YouTube channel and click subscribe. We are trying to send everybody regular updates there. You never know what Facebook might have in the future, so we always appreciate being able to reach you on multiple platforms. The link is in the comments. Basar actually has 3 Hebrew letters. I want you to remember these, so make sure to take notes, okay? The first letter is Beit. It has the numerical value of 2, which represents duality and a paradox. It also represents a dwelling place in lower reality or a house. Now, the second letter, Shin, represents teeth, sharp or pressing. It also represents to eat, consume, or destroy. It has a numerical value of 300, which actually represents divine blessing, divine judgment, or divine protection. This letter can also represent the changeless essence of Yeshua, or the Holy Spirit, inside of the changing. Now, the last letter is Resh, and it has a numerical value of 200, which can represent insufficiency and lack. It also means evil. It also means head or beginning and can represent humility. The very first letter, Beit, actually shows that the Basar, or the flesh of Adam, or the fallen man, is a house. I want you to remember that, beloved. It's a house and a dwelling place in lower reality that offers a duality and a paradox. So the very first thing we see about this flesh is that there's some kind of duality to it. The second letter, Shin, shows that this flesh house presses us sharply either into divine judgment or divine protection. The last letter, Resh, shows that Basar, or flesh of fallen man, is insufficient and lacking in humility. It is evil by its fallen nature. So Basar of fallen man is a house, a dwelling place in lower reality where we are sharply pressed into evil. This is the Basar, or the flesh nature of an unredeemed person. Now, the Basar of Yeshua, however, shows us a completely different picture. The Basar of Yeshua is a house, a dwelling place in lower reality that holds the changeless essence of Yahuwah, which sharply presses the redeemed person into humility and the beginning of a relationship with Yahuwah. The Basar of fallen man, therefore, is a paradox and a duality. The same Basar, or flesh, that houses fallen man in evil and eats, consumes, and destroys his soul, is the same Basar, or flesh, that has the ability to house the changeless essence of Yahuwah and sharply press man to humility, eating, consuming, and destroying evil, and allowing the beginning of relationship to Yahuwah through Yeshua HaMashiach begin. Therefore, the Basar, or the flesh of man, is redeemed by the righteous, sinless, spotless Basar, or flesh of Yeshua, when man enters into covenant with Yahuwah through the atonement of Yeshua. Without the sacrifice of Yeshua's Basar, or his flesh, the Basar of fallen man would never have been released from the power of death. Now, I want you to remember that, beloved, the duality and the paradox it is to live in this flesh. We all have the same struggle, and I hope that that can encourage you, because you also have the ability to house the changeless essence of Yahuwah, the Ruach HaKodesh, the Holy Spirit lives inside of you and has sealed you and marked you unto the day of redemption. Although this flesh is hard to live in, it was specifically designed to be a paradox and a duality for our benefit and our relationship with Yeshua. Shalom Aleichem. Spark 22 is a ministry specifically dedicated to bringing Abba's word to the ends of the earth and helping spark deeper understanding by the power of the Holy Spirit into your daily faith lives. If you have been blessed by our ministry to Abba, please consider sowing a love gift into this ministry today to help us continue to be a light to the world. You can donate at www.paypal.me/GaviWarrior. Thank you for joining us for this week's episode of Spark 22, Discovering the Light of Hebrew. I'm Gabriella Powers, and I would like to invite you to stay tuned for next week's Spark 22 video. If this video blessed you, make sure to hit like and share so others can be blessed as well. If you have any suggestions on how we could do better, or if you'd like to encourage us, make sure to drop a comment below. We'd always love to hear from you. Until next time, I'm Gabriella Powers. Shalom Aleichem.